Governor Henry Whitman's first term was riddled with scandal and broken promise. Polls showed him down by as much as 5 points leading up to the election, but to everyone's surprise, he clinched onto re-election by just 200 or so votes. Now, fulfilling a campaign promise as well as commitment made to campaign donors, Governor Whitman has authorized the founding of Hidden County. Together with Jack Yukon of Yukon Motors, the initial development quickly began, with Jack Yukon laying down the groundwork of beginning infrastructure for a new settlement, as promised to the governor, of course, in exchange for an endorsement and campaign funding. If you like compromised politicians like Governor Whitman, then hit the like button, or just hit the like button anyway because it helps out the channel a ton. Please subscribe, helps the channel grow, and it's been really awesome to see the channel growth lately, so let's keep it up. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think, and consider becoming a channel member. Let's get into this. Hello everyone, my name is Caesar. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're very clearly starting a brand new city. Don't know why I have to say it, just kind of force the habit to say it every single time we go into a new city, because something about starting a new city is always really cool. I feel like it's just the whole feeling of getting to start fresh and build with new ideas and move past the regrets of your previous builds. I think it's just something really cool that I'm excited to go with. Now, this map I saw on City Planner Plays live streams. I think he still plays on it. I'm not exactly sure, but the map looked really cool, and it comes with kind of initial infrastructure, and it came, and it kind of fulfills the idea of, well, Jack Yukon already had pre-built some infrastructure as he promised to the governor, and I think it's kind of adds to the story, and I think it's a really cool map anyway. So that's why we're playing on the map. And if you're here from White Pine County, then you're gonna have to get used to a few changes. Previously, we would just upload a couple episodes here and there, pretty often actually, sometimes daily. But this one's going to be a bit different. We focused a lot on, expansion of population rather than like taking our time to build out certain areas and making it look nice and making it feel like home. And I think that was a really missed opportunity. And it's something I, kind of regretted with White Pine County. Now, I don't know if I'm going to stop that series yet. I know we're getting closer to the end. There's not much else I can do in there besides like build an airport or something, but we're getting close to the end, and I think it's okay. So in Hidden County, we're going to be slowing things down and focusing a lot on detail and story building before growth, which means less frequent episodes because it's going to take a little bit longer to make, write a little bit of story out, record intros, things like that, as well as higher detailed building. Last time in White Pine County, we only had about 20 mods. Here we have close to 60 because of all the different, I guess, the custom decals and stuff like that we downloaded, and different decorations, things like that. It's going to really help bring things together a lot more, and I think it's going to be a really cool thing. So if you're used to White Pine County, get ready for that little bit of change. This is going to be built a lot on your feedback. So if you have some feedback for the episode or something you want to see built, or maybe I missed something in a couple of the videos, leave a comment down below, join the Discord, and let me know. I check comments almost every single day. There's not many because, smaller channel, it's easier to reply to people, and I kind of think it's pretty cool like that. But I want you guys involved, so please be involved, and I'm going to stop talking now, or else I'm going to keep talking all day, because starting a new city is always exciting, and it's already, we're already a few minutes into the video. So I'll leave a timestamp for those of you that did not want to hear me ramble forever. But yeah, let's get started. So here is what I am thinking. Obviously, when you start a new city, the first thing you should do, or one of the first things you should do, is focus on balancing your budget. Because if you don't have a balanced budget almost immediately, you're going to be hurting very, very quickly. Because the economy is rough, right? Obviously, we're playing with mods, so we don't have tile upkeep and things like that. So it's going to be a little bit easier for us to deal with. Because I don't really like to deal with the budget stuff. I want to just... This time around, I want to kind of paint a city rather than, have to manage it too hard. Obviously, the management aspect is still there, so it's going to be really cool to deal with it. But I want to focus a little bit more on detail. So we have an existing infrastructure, which we're just going to dive in and kind of start zoning into it. And I don't really know what I want to do with this existing grid, if I'm being honest. It's obviously here, and we're going to use it. And I think all of this here being just initially residential zoning, I think is going to be really cool. I think it's going to be good use for the area, especially as we get going here. Now, this waterside property, I want to save it for residential because I feel like some waterside, housing would look really neat. We're going to go about 4 units in, just like that. And I think that's going to look really cool. And then for this stuff, we're just going to zone this in. I'm going to try to keep the housing all on like the middle streets, like the cross streets, instead of like the main streets, just to keep that traffic going onto those streets rather than, you know, on the main streets. And it's going to just, you know, hopefully preserve a little bit of traffic issues going in as we're getting going here. I think it's going to be really good. So what we're going to do is, honestly, we'll just zone all of this in to probably here. I think that'll be a good initial starting area. And then I think, is this a highway? That's a highway and that's a highway. So we have two highways coming into the area. I think they'll be used pretty efficiently, but very clearly this road is going to end up being a busier street. I think focusing some commercial near here is going to kind of make a little bit of sense. So what I'm going to do, what's a very low commercial area? Is that new? What is that? Oh, kiosks. I don't want kiosks. I'm good off that. We're going to just grab some North American commercial and just kind of zone here to get us started. And I think that'll be okay. Now, I don't want to go too heavy on everything like that because, again, I want to take our time and kind of paint things out. But we got to have a balanced budget in order to do a lot of this stuff. So the first, maybe the first couple episodes going to be very focused on just getting a good budget going. And I think that's going to be okay. Did I do waterfront properties? I didn't mean to if I did. Let's go regular properties here. And I know the waterfront properties, quote unquote, they're not even waterfront properties. It's just a house with a pool. And they called it waterfront property for some reason. I have no idea why. It's kind of strange to me. But, you know, I guess it is what it is. Now, we got to look at our wind here. If our wind is blowing towards our city where we're going to place our industry, it's going to cause a lot of issues. But industry is something we've got to focus on pretty much right at the beginning because then it'll be where all of our money's coming from. So as long as we keep it on this side, it's like we're not going to have too much issue with, I guess, the dirtiness of, you know, of what is the industries, right? So I think it's something we got to utilize effectively here. Now, looks like we have a four-way road here. I think upgrading this road to a four-way and using this as a bit of material / collector, maybe this one too, is going to be a good use of it. And I think we do that from the beginning. Now, these have upkeep, so I don't really want to do this now. It's just something to keep in mind as we're going. So I'm going to start off with just some regular roads. And I think, because I don't want to put it, I guess this could be a good place for industries to get started at least. Just so we don't have to build anything and waste money. We can use this side as industry. We know wind is going this way. It's not going to be something to deal with too majorly, so I think it's a good thing to just kind of zone this area here for industries, and then we can always make adjustments as we go. None of this has to be permanent, and I think it's going to be okay. It's a lot of underground water, but like, we're not going to use underground water. We're going to use probably just the water pumps. I think that's going to be okay. Now, yeah, that's going to be okay. So we're going to start zoning out a little bit of this area here just to get some industry, I guess, already in. And it's going to help provide those, you know, key initial jobs that we're really going to need to kind of balance out the budget. If you're not doing industry at the beginning, that's probably a big reason why your city's failing and your budget's going bad. This works on vanilla too. I did a little bit of a beginner's tutorial a couple months back, and I think it provides some pretty valuable insight on all of... Oh, what's this? Farming zone. Is that new? See, I'm playing with mods and I'm seeing stuff that I haven't seen before because I don't remember what mods there are. I installed this preset a while back and I just never got around to recording the episode. Because I had to scrap the initial episode that I recorded for the series because everything kind of fell apart in the background, and yeah, we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, it's something that happened. Now, looking at our specialized industry, these are going to come in handy with balancing budget a lot. If you don't use specialized industry, you're doing something wrong. Because if we don't have access yet, but if you look at your economy, we might have access. These deficits will cost your city a lot of money because you're having to pay for import fees. Your businesses can't pay as much taxes because they're not making as much money because, well, they're having to pay import fees to get things in. So part of industry you really got to focus on is things like your farming and things like that. I think it's something we can take a look at pretty much close to the beginning here just to get going. Now, I want our farming... I guess I'm kind of thinking about it, right? Because we're going to have industrial buildings here. So having some farms next to us is probably not a good idea. But I also don't want to overtake a lot of this area here with farms. especially as our city gets going here, because it's going to take up a lot of space. This highway will eventually become a bigger highway and probably flow through the city anyway. So probably leaving some space available for this is going to make a bit more sense. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab this road here. Why is this? Is this a one-way road? Oh, it was built as like a one-way system to keep traffic flowing a little bit better. I guess that makes sense. We're going to break that up though. We're going to go, I say about, should we do 40? Let's do 40 units. Okay. I think 40 units. We'll do 10 more units. We'll do 50 units. And I guess if I can count. There we go. And the reason I want to go this many units, well, I guess there's not really a reason for it. It's just more of a... Also, I appreciate the person that made this map. Thank you for putting a lot of underground resources and not having us like suffer for it. Like the vanilla maps. The vanilla maps are really bad for that. But anyways, I really want to focus on... My mind just went blank as I was thinking about what I was going to do. We're going to put down some farms, all right? Livestock farms on this side. And I think we'll do a grain farm on this side. A nice vegetable farm as well would be nice. So I think what we'll do is we'll squeeze it in probably here. We're going to do a nice 50 by 50. Now, it looks probably massive. It's because it is. But... It's probably not a good explanation of why I'm doing this. Can we line this up nicely so it's kind of like back there? Is this a 90 down here? Why am I not getting angles here? Okay, what if we... Right there. There it is. If I would just look at the guidelines, it would tell me everything I need. Now, I want massive farms because they feel a bit more realistic rather than just like small little tiny farms that say to Skylines only lets you build, and I think having these 50 by 50 blocks is going to look kind of cool. We're going to get rid of this farm here. I don't want it to be... Oh, is that not going to go away? There we go. That was weird. The whole building disappeared except for like the actual building itself. That was weird. Wasn't expecting that. All right, so this is animal, and we're going to go ahead and put a grain farm over here, I think. Yeah, we'll do it for now. We might change that in the future, but it's going to be okay for now. And again, we're going to do a 50 by 50 here, all the way here, and get this connected super nicely with 90-degree angles. It'll help everything kind of flow a little bit nicer, and that'll be okay. So we'll get rid of this weird connection there, and then we're going to fill out these farms, obviously, just to kind of get that done now. We don't forget about it. And I'm going to use the whole square. Obviously... You know, these usually have circles or whatever that they, you know, you can't go out of. But I'm going to use anarchy and kind of extend this to as big as I want to make it. I could obviously make this a lot bigger, but I don't want to. I think 50 by 50 is going to be fair. I think it's going to look kind of cool with having like the square properties. I think it's going to look kind of... I think it'll look kind of neat. Now, with these farms, I want to leave a little bit of space. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a farmhouse at each of the farms, like here. I know they have this like general asset that comes with it, but I don't really like it. Which I guess I don't have a reason for not liking it. I just kind of don't. So I'm going to draw a dirt road here. Oh, let's connect that up. Just like that. We'll get rid of those crosswalks once we have access to those. And then it'll feel a little bit nicer. But I want to figure out what kind of a house we can put. Now, is there like a farmhouse that we can put in? Is there assets for farmhouses? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be looking for assets as we get going on this series and, you know, really try to find something that kind of, you know, feels right? So it's this. Let's get rid of that text. Underpath. And these are some of the custom assets that we got. Yeah, we're not going to do that right now. We will eventually, but there's no need for it. Let's go ahead and filter here. Oh, that's not the filter button. Let's go back in here, look at housing, filter, and we're going to go with obviously low residential housing. It's not going to be like a massive, you know, massive property or something, but I think filtering's definitely going to help a little bit. Now, what do some of these properties look like? That's definitely too low. Can we look at these levels? Building level. Let's go up. Is there level 5 buildings here? Is there any that are going to look like... Oh, that's massive. Okay, I don't want like a farmhouse, obviously. Go down to level 4. That's where we'll get the actual buildings we can plop down. It's gonna be oh, that one's not bad. I actually like that. Now the way we'll place this is we will build another little bit of dirt path, just like that, and then we'll place the house here, and that'll be fine. So we're gonna go back in here, grab that house. I think it was this one right here. It's not. It was this one. This one. So many good assets in here now. Sometimes they're just not anything good, but sometimes they're just really nice. That fits in there really nicely, and I like it a lot. Now, I don't know how I feel about this dirt road going through here. I think I'm gonna leave it for now, and I think it'll look all right. That's a possibility. I know I should be focusing on things that actually matter, because right now we're still, we're obviously bleeding money. But I'm already getting carried away with slowing things down, and there's gonna be a lot of, compilation, I guess, like speed ups of me building stuff in a lot of these videos and talking over it probably, just to be less mundane. Unless you guys want to, sit through all of it while I build it. I guess that's okay too. It's kind of up to you guys. But I definitely don't want to put out like an hour video of me just decorating. I'd rather just do like a quick speed build. That's the word I was looking for. And upload it, once it's done and fixed and all of the video edits are done and things like that. But, if you guys want, just, I guess, let me know down below. Now, I'm going to look at another little bit of area. I'm going to add vegetable farming immediately, just to get this going here so we don't forget about it. Well, I think we'll leave it for now. We're going to leave this alone, and that'll be okay. Now, what I'm looking for to getting really soon is getting our geothermal plant, okay? This geothermal plant right here is very, very good for balancing your budget, and you will make an insane profit almost immediately. So if you focus on industrial and you focus on getting that geothermal power plant, you're going to be in a very, very good spot. But to begin, you obviously have to make sacrifices. So we need a bit of a transformer station. I think, do we have any exterior connections coming through here? We don't. We'll have to put them in on our own, which is okay, but it's kind of a bit annoying. To go cheap, we might just put it over here for now. And then we'll move it as needed. But I don't want to put like crazy power lines going everywhere. But I'm just going to make the connection here so we can buy power from exterior sources. We'll go underground power lines because that's going to be a little bit neater, and we'll just draw to here because that's $8,000 and that's kind of expensive, and yeah, we can't really afford $8,000 right now. So now we need a water source. I think a nice water pumping station. Look at pricing. It's $25,000, but the upkeep is $5,000. It's the cheapest thing you can buy for water upkeep at the beginning, and there's no shame in just using these water pump stations. We'll use some of these water towers as the decorative pieces down the road once our income is a little bit nicer, but for now, we'll use this. And I think we'll put our water pump probably over here on this side for now. Again, a lot of this is temporary just to get kind of cheaper options in, and eventually they'll move. But for now, we kind of need functionality over it looking decent at the beginning, right? That's kind of the priority that has to take place. Put that there for now. Again, that will move eventually once we get our budget kind of more stabilized. And then we're going to get a bit of a sewage outlet, and we're going to pump it out into here because it's going to get trapped right here. And I don't want it to flow everywhere because eventually it's going to just, I don't want to see like a giant stream of dirty water. This is going to be the cheapest place to put it, so it's not going to be too much infrastructure to pay for. That's why it's going here. It'll pump out here, get stuck there, and then that's where the sewage water will just kind of stay. So we'll get that there. We'll get a sewage pipe going from here to there. That'll be fantastic. Now, I think this automatically connects, so we don't have to connect it ourselves. That's really good. Now, if we unpause all of our... Yep, everything's taken care of. Immediately, we're having an $800 loss. Taxation, we do have taxes unlocked already. We'll leave it at 10% for now. If we can't manage, we'll up it a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. We're already having a bit more commercial demand, so we're going to go ahead and... I'm trying to think progressively on like where I want actually commercial to be. And I think because this has a little bit of a highway, it'll be a higher like a denser road eventually. So maybe putting in some commercial lots here kind of makes sense. If it doesn't, scream at me in the comments and I'll get rid of it. But I think right now it makes sense to me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down there, and that'll get rid of that demand. It also provides more shopping places for people to go to, and hopefully that just kind of mitigates traffic. If City Skylines traffic can get kind of intense. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening, straight from the beginning. This house is already popping in the wrong way. Looks like all of these are actually. Is this gonna bother me enough to the point where I'm gonna get rid of them and replace them? It is. It is. It is gonna bother me enough. Why? Because I'm gonna I'm gonna be very OCD about things in this series because I want it to look good over it functioning, which obviously is not a very good thing when you're trying to start a city. But I'm gonna be okay with it. So if I have to rebuild one thing multiple times, I'm gonna be okay with it. We'll get rid of those houses there. Get rid of those. Try to keep some of these that are facing the right way. Get rid of these, which I know I probably should have said that before I started deleting everything, but it's gonna be okay. Now I'm gonna start with these corner buildings first. I think it's a 4x4 that can appear here. Yeah, can we get this to appear the correct way though? There we go. That's facing the correct way now. Fantastic stuff. I just put a waterfront property. I'm gonna live with it and just not get rid of it because I'll have to rebuild it. That's fantastic. Built the right way. Another 4-piece. Nope, that built the wrong way. Actually, that's building the right way. I just keep destroying it for no reason. There we go. There we go. Just like that. There we go. See, the game is making it a little bit easier today. Sometimes it makes it super complicated to do this kind of stuff. And there's been times I've sat there and like moved one, I've bulldozed one house like 15 times just because I kept spawning in the wrong way and I was just going insane. That one spawned the wrong way, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those. And I'm not going to make you watch this, so see you in a couple seconds when this is done. Okay. Skipped over while I did all that, but what I did is I went through and found some of the assets that are the correct sizes and then just put them in the corners and then zoned it, and now letting the rest of the housing kind of zone in around it, and that'll just fix that issue that I was having there. So I was going completely insane trying to figure that out, if I'm being honest. Now, one thing I want to look at is going into our, is this services? Yeah, water and sewage. Let's lower this budget by like a lot, actually. Can we look at that overlay while we do this? Or is it like... It's not gonna let me. So water trade. I guess if we export water, that'll be the right thing to do, right? So let's go ahead and... Okay, it's gonna be the cheapest option. I know it's gonna be controversial, but it's cheap and I need cheap right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's sell off some of this water, and that'll hopefully balance that budget a little bit. I think if we just leave water alone to sell, I think it'll be okay. Let's go back up to 100%. Let that kind of go there and see if that kind of sells itself. So, I forget how this works. Does the water actually sell itself? I remember in White Pine County, we had profitable water. There we go. It's starting to export itself, so that'll be okay. But that'll get going. Now, we're starting to make a little bit of, well, I don't want to say making money because right now we're still bleeding technically, but everything's kind of starting to come together. We're still bleeding about $1,100 an hour. But people are starting to move in, which is really, really good. Do we have any city parks we can build? What is this? Oh, okay. Well, I do have a couple assets. See, I'm discovering things as we're going, okay? It's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna speed things up so it kind of builds itself out. And I think it'll be a good start to the city here. People are upset. Why is everybody upset here? Everyone's actually super happy. So that should start going up on its own. And that'll be okay. Maybe. I don't know. You can look at some of these assets too. I've picked up a lot of... I forget who makes these, okay? I'm sorry. I installed these a long time ago, but there's a lot of cool decals and things like that that we can use to kind of make things feel kind of historic in a way. And I think it's going to be really sick. Now, our demand for residential is going up again, and there's no reason to ignore it, especially when we're, you know, struggling to make ends meet right now. We're going to go ahead and just go all the way like this. Now, if we can prevent this, I will be very happy. It's going to happen again, isn't it? Okay, that's a 4x5, right? It's a 4x6, actually. Can we get this to form the right size too, please? There we go. Go away. And I'm actually going to shrink this down to 4x5 because every lot so far has been 4x5. I don't want to break that up. I think it looks kind of cool. Let's break. Let that start up like this. There we go. If only this could start up nicely, I would be the happiest person in the world. But it's not letting me, so what we're going to do is go back into these houses that we've been placing and place some of these. Now, can we go like a 4x4? No, we need the by 5. Can we go like a 3x5? Is there 3x5s? There's 3x5s. Go like that, and then a 2x5 will build in there, and that'll be okay. There we go. Look at that. Everything's coming together pretty nicely. If I do say so myself, and I do say so myself. All right, our industry zone seems to have built itself out nicely. There's still a couple empty lots. I'm not going to zone anything else yet. Eventually, probably will, but for now, we'll just leave it alone. We'll probably move that across this road here eventually. For now, we'll just leave it alone. That'll be okay. Something about houses all facing the same way kind of makes me super happy. And we have a couple of trees we can put down. I'm not really gonna lock myself down to like pine trees like I did last time around, but I want to put down some trees here to kind of fill in some of these weird spots that like the zoning wouldn't fill in on its own. I think having just a variety of trees here is gonna just look really nice. Do a couple of the poplars and then maybe that's a little small. Maybe a linden would look nice there. There we go. That fills in that area and gets rid of that weird gap. Same thing here. I don't like that weird gap that's here. Put a couple of these in. Fill it in. Oh, that's a little too big. I have anarchy on, so it's letting me put in whatever I want, but I'm trying to be careful with it. Okay, we got our progression point, which is only 1 point, unfortunately. I wish it was more. But I think it'll be a good start. There we go. Just some vegetation in there, just to kind of fill in the areas and bring it all together a little bit. I think that looks fine. What kind of trees do we have here so we can actually see what kind of trees? So we have a lot of birch, hickory, and chestnut, and London. I'm gonna see what kind of trees are around just so we know what kind of trees to place down. Just to make it, kind of blend in with the area so that we don't bring in some weird tree that's not even part of the area. That'd be kind of weird. Now we have some medium residential, which is really cool. I don't want to do the mixed row housing, which I think is from a mod. Don't correct me on that. I mean, if I'm wrong, someone correct me on that. But I think that's from a mod. But I'm not going to use those because I want to place commercial on its own. Now, where can we place row housing so it kind of looks kind of nice? Now, if we place row housing along this strip here and continue it, it'd be too complex. I'm not going to do that. Let's a lot of low residential here. We can up the density, maybe closer to the highway or something, or maybe just take it across the street and put some kind of higher density here. Maybe do a couple of blocks here with just some of these row homes. Let's do the corners first, because as you know, they'll build in the wrong way if you don't do the corners first, like that. And then we'll just fill those in nicely. They'll fill in over time, but that'll get rid of that demand, and then we can do a lot of low residential around it. I think that'll look really cool as it builds out. I think we'll do these as the row homes as well, just to have a couple, some more availability for it. But I think here we'll do some residential stuff. So what if we do... What is that? Of course it builds something weird. Of course it builds something weird. You know what I mean? Of course it does. What if we do... It's not going to do it, is it? It's not going to do it. All right. So we're going here with a 3x4. Grab one of these fancy houses. They're all level 1 houses. I made sure of that. Just so they, grow in nicely. Ooh, I probably should have gotten rid of anarchy when I did that. Let's do that. And then we will use move mode here. Move this into its right spot all the way to the edge. And then we'll just fill this area in with some low residential and it'll be good to go. Yeah, just like that. Of course this happens. I also zoned this in wrong. Let's get rid of this middle zoning. Oops. Completely broke my own rule there. And that'll fit in nicely. Just like that. And we'll do the same thing over here. Yeah, we'll do the same thing over here. We'll do low residential, probably, yeah, the 4 units there. 4 units here. We'll leave the empty space for some path space or something, and that'll be okay. There we go. And just to proof this up so I don't forget about it, I'm going to go ahead and put these single strips here for the row homes just to get those started, and that'll be okay. What if we do this a little bit different? Okay, what if we do this a little bit different? What if we do this mixed zone with the row homes, something like this instead, right? What if we do something like this? Just for these 2 blocks, we'll do some mixed zoning, and I think that'll be fine, right? They'll be a bit smaller, but I think once that builds out, it'll look really nice. I'm going to speed the game up here just to keep things kind of rolling here. We're starting to get some different demands here for like city services and things like that, but I'm not really too worried about it. I'm going to keep the game flowing though. Emergency battery station would kind of suck. I don't really need that. I don't really need anything from here, so I'm not going to place it. Education and things like that come very handy at the beginning, so I'm not going to... Ooh, what's a rural medical center? 2 ambulances, 5 patient capacity. Very cheap to up $250 to 23,000 expensive. Can I do a small little clinic? Can I afford this? Probably not. But we kind of need a little clinic. That'll be a main street later on, so I don't want to put it there. Looking for like an initial city services campus that we can build. I'm not really finding anything that I could use. Maybe if we use a couple of these blocks, it'll be okay. Yeah, probably. We'll place this. We'll get rid of anarchy again, of course. And we'll place this along... well, sort of the commercial zone. And we will face it onto this local road here. That'll be how we deal with that. Trash keeping. We probably should start taking care of this. A rural recycling center looks so cool. $300 a month? It wouldn't be bad at all. And we can deal with trash from the beginning. And it's cheap, right? $25,000 is not cheap, actually. It's definitely not cheap. Plus, we're not having trash issues yet, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. We're already having death care issues, so we want to build a cemetery. Now, with cemeteries, I like planning them out because I think they add a lot of characters to areas. And with our residential zone, going to be expanding on this way, I think having a nice cemetery through here, however, leaving space for, higher density road would look kind of cool. So what if we go... I'm thinking out loud. I'm kind of thinking before I do, so I don't regret things later on. What if we build something like this? Okay. And sure, we'll do a connection here. Do a connection here. Just like that. All the way through so we can continue those blocks with more housing or whatever we got to add to this area. And that'll take care of that need. We'll even bring this one up like that. Oops, let's not click on that yet. Just like that, nice and straight. And then I'm going to carve out a little bit of an area for this cemetery. So it's probably going to go... We'll center it here, I think. So if we get rid of this road here, get rid of those roads there, and then we get the cemetery out. I forget how big this asset is. It might be too big for this, but... Ooh, a city chapel would be cool. I have a couple of different assets that I got. So we have some of that stuff to look at. An old cemetery could... Oh, old cemetery wouldn't be bad either. This holds 500 capacity. That could be a nice starter cemetery. But do I want a tiny cemetery? $114,000 is steep. But we can't ignore death care, right? That's something we can't ignore. $114,000 is very expensive. What if we go with something cheaper? What if we go with chapel and cemetery, right? We can actually probably put this in like one of these neighborhoods, and it would actually feel really nice. You know what I mean? So what if we place this? I don't want to destroy housing already, which there's no housing even built there, but it wouldn't fit there nicely because the way I'm trying to build things there, so I'm not going to put it there. These blocks are kind of small as well, so I'm not going to do that. But I think we'll put it here. Like that, and then we'll just move this. We'll use move it to move it. And then we'll do a little bit of decorations around it with some vegetation and things like that and open it up a little bit more. Well, that'll take care of that death care issue, at least for the beginning, and that'll be okay. We got a signature mansion, which is kind of neat. These don't cost money to put down, so there's never a reason to not put those down. We also have a vehicle factory, which is cool. Rock musician. Hello. We're going to put this down. Don't want to put it, like, at the church. Well, it could look kind of cool. I want this to kind of blend into the area. I don't want it to be like an outlier. So honestly, it could look pretty decent by the church and then put in some housing around it. And I think it'll just fill in nicely. Could be. Or we can just not place it for now and then just figure it out later. It's probably a good way to do that too. Death care is going to be taken care of. We got healthcare being taken care of. We don't have trash being taken care of, but if we put down one of these small recycling centers, it'll be okay. I just want to get to, you know, better things for the city. But we can't do that until we get to level 1. But demand is very, very low because it's still kind of starting up. So it's kind of a waiting game with trying to get things going. It's not really the fun part of building a city in City Skylines, but definitely something you got to put up with at first. Hopefully it balances out as we go. Hopefully. While we wait, we can do a little bit of path forming and tree planting. We'll just take it across. I don't want a crosswalk. A crosswalk. There we go. We'll go like that. And should we even do that? I know having a walkable city is always like the best thing. Pedestrian path looks kind of cool, but what if we put an alleyway there instead? I feel like that's more feasible. And I feel like it'd be a bit more realistic than having just a walking path. Yeah, we'll do a bit of an alleyway here. Now, can we connect this without the crosswalk? Probably not, but we'll get rid of the crosswalk as we go, and that'll be okay. Now, with this alleyway, we could do the same thing we do with everything else and just put in some trees to kind of fill in the area. What if we... Well, I guess what kind of trees should we put back there is the real question, right? Should we do like a nice line of trees or just kind of scatter them through and make it feel a little bit more organic? What if we grab a tree brush? Okay. Ooh. What do these look like? Let's look at this stuff. Okay, hold on. It's just one tree. What's the point of that brush? There's no reason for it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting when I was looking at that, but we're gonna up the strength here, and we're gonna lower the density or the size, the brush size. We're gonna just go through and paint a couple of trees behind these houses like that. We'll grab some different types as well, just to put in a little bit of variety. There we go, and then we'll grab some spruce to add a little bit of that dark color, and that'll kind of blend it in together really nicely. And just like that, that's kind of all I want. Maybe a missed opportunity for something else. I don't really know what else I could put in here. But I'm going to live with it. Now, this area here, I want it to feel a little bit better because this looks kind of jank right now. I want the grass to look like it's taken care of. Right now, it just looks like a, you know, the default grass, and I don't really like that. I want to go ahead and just paint a little bit. Not paint. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess it is kind of painting, huh? Gonna draw a square here. Isn't the grass supposed to be in here? Am I missing something like the... Oh, gym area. I don't want that. What are they called? These, like these zones, but it's like the surface... The surface tool. That's what I'm looking for. I don't think it's in here. Oh, so it's over here now because of mods. Okay. Probably should have gotten acquainted with the mods that I'm using, but it's gonna be okay. We'll just draw this as a square, and that'll be completely fine. Maybe let's use anarchy here. Connect that up, and we got this little bit of more taking care of grass, and I think I like that a little bit nicer. So we're gonna go ahead again with our brushes and stuff like that. I'm just gonna paint in some trees. Maybe not. What if we go a little bit more strategic here? Okay. What if we... Are these hickory trees massive? They are massive. That's why I don't like placing those. Birch trees are also massive. I think we'll go with the lindens just because they're a little bit smaller. And they're kind of better trees for like lining things up a bit. So we'll go with our lindens. We'll go with like a 10-meter gap should be fine. Just like that. There we go. And we'll click on that corner there just to grab it. Boom. Go there. All this around with the lindens, and I think it's going to look great. There we go. Also provides a little bit of natural shade as you're walking on the sidewalks, and I think that's just a pretty good thing to have. It'll feel a bit nicer to walk through there anyway. And I think we're just going to scatter some random trees around the area to fill it all in and make it feel a little bit less empty, because right now it just kind of feels empty. I don't really like that feeling. I got like super deep there for a second, huh? I promise I'm okay. Right. There we go. Just like that. Something a little bit like that, and that'll just make my OCD feel a little bit nicer. Can we just put a couple more like that? A couple of these empty spaces. There we go. Fill that in nicely, and I think that just feels really nice, like a very welcoming area. I know it's a cemetery, but I still want it to feel, you know, like a nice, calm area. Look at that. Our budget's already profitable, which is really nice. I bet you anything that if we go to our services, yeah, we're spending less money now. See, we're exporting a lot of the water, which is very, very good. Before we were losing about $20,000 on just water. Now we're losing only $18,000. Electricity is expensive because we're importing electricity. But once we get that geothermal plant here in a couple seconds, we're going to be in a very good spot. So I'm going to speed time up here just so we can get that going here. And we're also going to start zoning a bit more because that demand is back. Now, these mixed row homes are built. So that'll get rid of any commercial need that we have here in the near future, as well as the, help with the medium density housing need. And I think that's going to be very good. The rest of this is going to be, again, medium density housing is the reason we did this, of course. And we'll go something like that. And that'll be okay. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit controversial. Maybe. I don't know if I'd call it controversial, but it's something I'm going to do. We won't. We'll just let it build out. And that'll be okay. Gets rid of that demand there, but we still have a little bit of residential demand, which we want to meet. We don't want to fall behind on our demands, because we're going to be in a very weird situation where, well, our city's going to stop growing because we're not meeting their demands, right? And we don't want to do that, especially when we're first getting started. It's going to be very detrimental to everything we're doing here. I think you can see I'm hesitant to put housing along here because of it's going to be a busier area. So I'm kind of nervous about doing it, but I think I might just do it anyway. I don't really know how to expand. I guess that's more what I'm saying, right? Like, kind of hesitant because I don't know how to expand this a lot very easily. We're gonna upgrade to the 4-lane roads now, just so we don't have to redo it later, and it's not gonna cause us more problems down the road. It's gonna be on this road here, and I think we'll lock it to the right here. We'll move that clinic here in a second. Yep, we'll relocate, just replace it on there, make sure it's on that side road. Ambulances come out, they'll get on the main road and go. But I want this road here now so we don't have to make space for it later and destroy a bunch of stuff that's already built. Well, it's a good thing autosaves are a thing because I would have lost everything. I'm not sure what mod was... I figured it out. There was a weather mod conflicting with a couple other mods and stuff like that, so it was completely breaking everything and I couldn't really get back into the game for a little bit there, so... Now we're back and we didn't lose too much progress, gladly. It looks like we just lost the upgrade of this road. That's not going to be too hard to expand here, so what if we just go back into what we were doing and continue on like nothing happened? Level 2, fantastic. Ooh, I didn't mean to go that way. How do we... Okay, I know there's a way to do this, but I'm going to do it the lazy way because I'm too lazy to do it the right way. We're going to go this way. Just like that. I know we're getting rid of the one-way stuff we had going on here, but I think it's going to be okay. Well, who knows? I don't know. We'll play it by ear, and if it becomes a problem, then we'll adjust it, okay? That's how we'll say that for now. Now, I think we'll go 200 meters there. And then from there, we'll just start gridding this out a little bit, just kind of following what's going on here. There we have it. Just like that. Where's our snappy? There we go. It's a snapating. I'm not even sure why I said it like that. There we go. Just like that. And just to change up the grid slightly. Why not go across? It's not going to work. It's going to bother me, OCD. We'll go like that. And we'll use that to get going here. Our budget's in the positive barely, but you know, we're barely getting started here, so it's nothing to really stress about yet. If we go down further and we're still struggling for income, then we'll probably panic a little bit, but for now, it's going to be okay. I'm not worried about it, so you guys shouldn't either. Okay, so we have the points, and immediately what I want to do, I want to spend our points, and I'm going to spend it on the emergency battery because I have to, and we're going to get the geothermal power plant because this thing's going to be a moneymaker for us as we get going. Now, where can this thing go? Geothermal power plant, obviously you need groundwater, right? Can't build this thing without groundwater. And it looks like a lot of the groundwater is going to be over here. I don't want to put this over here. I want to keep this over here kind of with the industry stuff. So I think we're going to just place it over here now. I'm thinking, okay? I'm thinking. I think we're going to go with something. I think we'll just place it here, if I'm being honest. Can we turn off anarchy to make sure we don't break anything? We'll place this here. All right, and then we'll pull back this dirt road. And we'll connect that to here. And then we'll put that road back exactly where it was. And just like that, works perfectly fine. For me anyway, I'm not too stressed about it. And we got to connect this up to our existing power grid, which pretty much is right there. And the way we'll do that is we'll just take this, we'll go directly underground. We're going to follow the road here as much as we can to keep it looking at least a little bit neat. Go just like this in front of the building, make that connection there, and we'll be really good. Going to speed up the game for a little bit. We're going to bleed a ton of money, right? A ton. I mean a ton of money. But after a little bit, what should happen is this thing should balance itself out. At least it did the last time I did this, unless I had an update or something that like stopped this from working. There it is. See, just like that. We're making $7,000 an hour now because we're exporting a bunch of power. We go back into our services, making $75,000 a month off power alone, and that alone is going to pay the bills as we get going here. If you've never done this before, do it. There's no reason not to do it. If you're not doing it, it's kind of your own fault that you're losing money, and I'll just leave it at that. I see people complaining all the time. They're like, hey, I can't make money. Something's going on. I need help, right? But it's kind of their own fault when they're not really doing what they're supposed to. It's your fault if you're not making money. I know the economy can be complicated, and I'm not talking bad about people like that, but you know, there's ways in game to make money, and if you're not utilizing them, that's kind of your fault that you're losing money, and I don't feel bad for you. Now, I think we're going to use this block here as an initial school campus area, and we'll get rid of those two roads there. Well, this is going to be a 4-lane road eventually, right? Yeah, this is definitely going to be a 4-lane road because we got highway traffic coming off of here. This is obviously a 4-lane road already. There's no point of getting rid of those lanes. We're just going to expand on that. So before we put in that school, we're going to make sure we have the infrastructure already set in place for the school before we get there, right? So yeah, we'll go like this. Follow this all the way through like that. This will meet up with the other 4-lane road, which is where? Oh, right here. I went a little bit past it, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it. And I know, oh, probably shouldn't have done it like that. And I'm going to regret that. It's okay. We'll just finish it off. Go through there. Honestly, this 4-lane road will probably just go all the way through because eventually we're going to have a lot of industrial traffic, and I want to have just, you know, roads that can support that traffic. And we're going to take this all the way through here, just like this, making sure it goes to the right. We'll take it to there for now, and we'll, you know, adjust as we go and things like that. Some of these sharp edges are definitely going to be redone to make them feel a little bit nicer. I just kind of kept the existing infrastructure there, the existing design, but we're definitely going to make changes to that as needed. We're going to get rid of this stuff here, just like that. And can we get those automatically built back? And that's no problem at all. And it's almost as if we did nothing here because we didn't have to destroy much. Now, school, this is a main road. Putting a school here would probably be a bad idea. So we're going to put this road back in and just not bother putting it here. And I think what we'll do instead is we'll put... What's happening there? There we go. We'll go something like this, and then we'll just expand this block slightly. We'll expand it as needed, okay? For now, we'll leave it alone. But I want a small elementary school so we can start dealing with elementary school issues from the very beginning. I don't know if I want this bigger elementary school or maybe go with the smaller one for now. We have a small population, but these schools fill up quick. What's the... Definitely cheaper to operate, but I think this is going to be better long term for us. We'll go with the smaller one for now, okay? And then we'll go with, you know, the bigger stuff later on. We definitely have a couple of different assets we can use for schools and things like that, but for now, we'll just use what we have. I think we'll put the school here. I want to look at a couple different things, okay? Okay, we got to get the sports park to get that gym. Can we look at that high school gym anyway? Like if I go into here and just search for gym. Okay, that's the gymnasium. I want to see how big this is. Right there almost works perfectly. It'll connect right there. Okay. So that's going to be that room for that. And I want to put a couple of classroom wings as extensions. And I feel like that's going to be just very beneficial. There's going to be a massive elementary school with these like temporary trailers that a lot of us went to school with, unfortunately. But it's kind of how it worked. We'll leave it for now, but we know what we have planned for the future. And that'll be something we do there, okay? But for now, we're going to leave it alone. I want to look at some fences, though. If we can get some, like, a nice fence for this area, I'll definitely put in a fence. I think for now, I'll leave it alone. Because if I go too far and do a bunch of work for this area and then I have to destroy it because of the, you know, the gym and stuff that I put in and it kind of ruins everything, I'm going to regret it. So we're going to leave this alone for now. We'll definitely make changes to this in the future. I think for now, we'll just leave it alone. Okay? Deal? Okay. I'm more or less trying to convince myself to just walk away from this. If not, I'll sit there all day trying to make changes. I'm going to speed up the game to make sure we have money coming in because right now we're running pretty dry. Now, I want to start looking. Do we have parks unlocked yet? No, we need points for that. We don't have points for that yet. I'm over here trying to do stuff that we can't afford. We don't have a recycling center yet. I don't see us having trash issues yet, so I'm not going to be worried about that. Did we ever get that temporary recycling center? No, we did not. Definitely have the landfill, which I really don't want to use. It's so ugly. It's such an ugly thing to use. But might be something we have to use in the future. I might move this clinic over here by the school, so it's like more central to like the rest of the quote-unquote city services. I always like having like an initial city services campus. I think having the school over this clinic over here will kind of make sense for that. It's kind of ominous having the clinic right by the cemetery, but I think I'm going to do it just for the jokes of it. Now this will unload and unload onto this side road here. It'll have easy connection to this, I guess, this bigger street for, you know, medical services to pass by there. We got $75,000 and we got another point. So let's slow things down in the background so we can look at different things. We unlock the loan limits. We're not going to use loans as much as we can. I hate loans. And it's going to just ruin our economy if we go down that road, so I'm not going to. Small police station, definitely beneficial. We got to get public services in here pretty quickly. If not, people are going to start complaining about things, which, you know, can't call it complaining. It's a pretty fair game to complain that your city is not providing the basic necessities that a city should provide, like emergency services and things like that, so can't complain about that. We'll put the police station here, and then we'll put the fire station here next to it. Oops, should probably take off anarchy when I'm moving buildings like that, because if not, we're going to get weird things like that. There we go. I think we'll leave a 1-unit gap there. We can do some trees around it as we get going here. That'll be fine. Firehouse, $120,000. We're just nowhere near that. But, you know, we're moving in the right direction, so it's okay. We have points now, which means we can probably start looking at... Oh, we don't get these parks until level 4. That's what I'm waiting for. What kind of... Okay, so if we have our progression points, what kind of things can we unlock that will help the city grow? You know what I mean? So, like, what kind of things can we look at? I want to get advanced road services. And I'm going to get parking lots just because I want to get parking in before we forget to do parking altogether. And I've done that before, and I completely regret it. Now, where was that place where I put in crosswalks and I said we would get rid of them? I think it was over here with the alleyways. Yep, right here. Don't need crosswalks there. We'll leave the cross there to get across that street, but I don't want anything to be able to get across there. I think that'll be a little bit easier, and it'll keep traffic a little bit under control anyway, at At least I think so. Now, final thing I want to do here before we wrap things up for the day, I want to go ahead and just put in some more commercial. Now, as you see, this commercial is completely everywhere, and I don't like this at all. So we're going to go ahead and bulldoze all of that, and then we're going to put it in strategically the way we've been doing it recently, right? So that's good to go there. Now, if we get something like that, hold on. Oh, we have no demand for commercial. That's why they're not building. That makes sense, and I should probably pay attention. Apartment buildings would be kind of cool to have, but I don't know where to put them without them looking kind of weird. Because we don't really have much density around here, so I don't really want to just plop them in. Around the school, maybe could have a nice apartment complex or something. A couple apartments or something, you know? Nothing too major. I don't want to have some massive skyscrapers, you know, when we're barely getting started here. It looks kind of weird if you force them in. What if we do... Yeah, I'm okay with this. What if we put a couple apartment complexes across the street from these row homes? Something like this. That's completely fine. Put in a couple trees in the corners the way we do to make things feel a little bit nicer and maybe even feel a little bit planned. And I'm okay with that. Also, when my game crashed, I had to redo all of my game settings, so my game kind of looks kind of weird right now. I think it looks fine overall. There's some tweaking I have to do to get it back to where it was, but that was a big crash, and I you know, that's what happens when you play with mods and you're not really planning for things to go bad until they go bad, and then you're just like freaking out. I'll be honest, I was a little bit panicky about losing everything that I did today, but I'm glad I was able to figure that out and get back going again, you know. So definitely something I'm grateful that worked out. I think we're gonna just go all the way three units in. I like to do the twos because they kind of give it more shape and things like that, but I'm just gonna go like that. And then on this side here, we'll just do row homes like this. Medium density row homes, just like that. Simple stuff. I want to fill in like that. Can I get this filled in first, please? Get these corners full. Just like that, and then put in the rest of them. That'll be good to go. Well, some apartment buildings here, then the rest of them will be row homes, and it'll just kind of blend it together, so we don't have like massive skyscrapers here. But it'll still help with, you know, the massive demand that we're having for housing and things like that, and that'll be very good. Over here, I think we'll just do some low residential. What if we do something that's not what I wanted? If I'm being honest, that is not what I wanted. This game is trying me with the stuff it does. You know what I mean? It just, please place the houses that in the direction I want them to place on. Is there a way to get rid of zoning on certain sides of the roads? Is that a thing I can do? Can I go in here and like turn off that zoning? Let me know if there's a mod for that. Let me know and we'll switch that up, because this is really annoying. I hate having to do this. Biggest pet peeve of this game for me. Yeah, it's just not going to do it. So we're going to have to do this manually again, unfortunately. But I think it'll be okay. I guess what I could just do, right, is just zone like this. How big are these lots? We go, what is that, 4 in? We go 4 in. Can we get another nice alleyway going through here? I'd be okay with that. Like that, and then another 4 in like that. Put an alleyway through there, and it'll continue that kind of theme that we have going on here. There's no reason to just do it in a couple places. It'd be cool to do like a district-wide thing or something, you know? I don't know. Just kind of thinking out loud about ideas to make things look kind of unique and not make White Pine County all over again. Because we're just getting, you know, almost to the end of that series, so definitely want to do something a bit different there. We'll do a couple trees like that, and I think we'll do one of those like that. I'm okay with a couple of empty gaps. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sure. One right there. Do a nice one of those, one right there, nice up to it. And then there. And that'll be okay. Same thing we did here. We're going to just paint a couple of trees in the middle, and I think that'll feel very nicely. Again, a lot of this is, you know, decent chance some of this will change. Let me know what you think I should change and things like that. I definitely want you guys involved with the decision making of this series. I don't want it to be all me. Because I think, you know, if there's more people making up the decisions, things like that for this type of thing, it'll end up looking a little bit better. So something like that, it'll definitely kind of blend in the area. I want to keep the super green vibe that we have for the entire state so far. I've been using a lot of trees and vegetation to kind of make that happen. So I want to continue that vibe and I don't want to stop it. And I think that'll be okay. I don't know what's going to happen over here yet. This might get dismantled and just be farms or something. I honestly have no idea. I'm going to think about it. Obviously, there's going to be industrial, and then eventually we'll do some sort of, you know, docks over here. Things like that. But I think for now we have a good start. I think I'm going to stop it here, though. Well, I say that, but I really want to fill this in, right? I want to fill in these gaps that we have here. Traffic's already flowing in like crazy, but it's just because everybody's moving in for the first time. And that's kind of expected. But I want to fill in this area here. But the issue with that is the buildings I want to fill them up with aren't forming yet because, well, there's no demand. I want commercial along this main road for the most part. And I think that's fair to say. I also want to mix in a couple of these row homes. I think that'll be okay too. So what if we do something... Yeah, what if we do a couple of those, right? A couple of row homes in between some of these some of these commercial areas. I think that's okay. I think it'll look all right. Now, then we'll just do like that and like that. But in between, we'll do some of these row homes. And I want certain businesses to form here, so I'm gonna have to place these manually. But I want it to feel kind of like all blended in together, so it's not just, you know, only the row homes or only the stores and things like that. So I think this will blend in nicely, but it'll just be kind of like a wait and see type of thing. Now we have a lot of industrial demand, and what we can use that industrial demand for is to fulfill some of our production deficits. Like right now we have no vegetables being produced, and that's something that we could easily solve by just placing a vegetable farm right over here, which is what we're going to do. So this is going to be a pretty massive vegetable farm that'll probably sustain us for a while. And we probably won't have to build another one for probably ever. Well, I say that, but I guess we'll see what happens, right? It's one of those things. Can we do... I don't remember how big these roads are. We've got a different mod that was reading these lengths and stuff like that, so now it's not there anymore. 372 units across. It's a weird number. Okay. 370... There's no 372. 376 it is, okay. It's gonna be what we have to do there. Unfortunately. That's okay though. 90 degrees. See, I don't want people to be able to, you know, I don't want that connection there, right? Because that's gonna be kind of weird. Well, we can have that connected. That's okay. I just don't want traffic to be coming in through this area, and I think if it's just an exit, no one will use it anyway, and I think that'll be fine. It'll just make my OCD feel a little bit better. That's kind of why I'm doing that. So, vegetable farm there. We're going to go ahead and start messing with the zone. We're going to activate anarchy, and you can make these as big as you want. However, the moment you know, cross a road, this will stop working. So you can't go into a road or over a road, for example, and expect it to work. The whole thing will stop working unless they fix that bug. I don't know if it was a bug, actually. It could have been intended, honestly. A decent chance. But it would stop working and things like that. It would just be a nightmare to get working again because you'd have to redo the whole zone. So if you do it right from the beginning, you don't have to worry about it down the road. That's for sure. There we go, just like that. Wanted this to follow the road all the way through like that. Might make a gap with these later on and just do some like trees around this thing to kind of make it feel so you can identify the separation between this stuff like that. But I think for now it's going to be okay. I really like this home over here. Really enjoy that home over here. Now this has 92 employees, and it obviously gets rid of some of our commercial what's the word here? Industrial demand, but it's not going to be enough. We definitely got to provide more jobs. Now, here is one big thing I want to do. So Governor Whitman made a promise to Mr. Jack Yukon. Jack Yukon is a supporter of the channel, by the way. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You know, become a member. Anyways, it's definitely a building that I'd like to put down. And I think it being available from the beginning is pretty neat. Because if we place this down, this cements Jack Yukon's place in the city. And, well, Jack Yukon is all about industrial growth, even though the governor made a promise to his constituents that he would focus on green resources. However, you know, he likes to take bribes and things like that, so he's going to build the vehicle depot anyway. And I'm thinking of a place where I could put this where it's not going to destroy traffic. I know it's not going to be a heavy traffic building anyway, but it's like a massive vehicle factory, and I feel like it deserves its own area with some parking lots, maybe some different kinds of services, like, you know, some commercial lots and things like that in the area. I think it'll help it come together a lot pretty well. So that's something I want to look at probably in the next episode or going forward from that, but we'll see. For now, thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the like button, subscribe. I'm losing my voice now because I recorded 3 videos in a row, and it's not good for my voice, but thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited about the growth here and the future of this city. Let me know your ideas, please. Be involved with it. And yeah, enjoy a brief city tour and see what we did today. Bye-bye.